I was never supposed to see that house again. Years had buried its memory beneath routine, beneath noise, beneath everything I told myself was important. But time is not linear when dread anchors you. A single phone call ripped it back into my life, pulling like a hook in flesh. The call came at night. Unknown number. Static hummed before a whisper shaped my name. Not my name exactly, but something bent, like a photograph left in heat. Wrong, but close enough to pierce. Then silence. That was enough. I knew what waited. The station where I grew up sprawled across flat steppe, winds gnawing wooden signs until the paint peeled like scabs. At its edge, alone on a rise of dirt, stood the house. Everyone called it that house, never giving it a real title. Even as kids, we circled wide around it. Windows without curtains reflected nothing. Nights made the roof groan, as though breath swelled beneath shingles. Once, when I was 12, a dare drove me to its porch. The boards flexed as if something underneath shifted. I lasted seconds before bolting, my friends' laughter chasing me. But I swore I heard footsteps chasing too. Too many feet for one boy. I buried that night, until the call. I returned by train, half asleep against the window while the landscape slashed past. Rusted poles, endless grass, sun gone leaving ash-colored sky. When the conductor touched my shoulder, I realized we were already at my stop. The town had shrunk, stores empty, roofs sagging. Dogs barked at nothing. I walked streets I once biked, now hollow arteries leading toward that rise. No one followed. The path up was dust and brittle weeds. The house loomed larger than memory, black wood swollen from years of storms. Window still blank, door cracked but closed. I should have turned back. Inside, air smelled of iron and mold. My flashlight beam trembled. Wallpaper peeled in long strips like hanging skin. Floor groaned under each step. The silence wasn't silence at all. It pulsed like something enormous holding breath. Then I heard it. A voice, distant yet close. My name. Wrong again. Syllables tugged sideways. It came from upstairs. Logic begged retreat. Feet disobeyed. The staircase sagged but held. Second-floor hall stretched longer than the house allowed. Doors lined both sides, each shut, each with shadows bleeding from beneath, as if light existed inside though no lamps burned. I opened the first. A bedroom. Furniture collapsed into heaps. Wallpaper peeled in long strips like hanging skin. In the center lay a crib, wood blackened. Inside, not dust, not cloth, hair. Bundles of human hair knotted together, filling it like straw. My stomach clenched. I shut the door. Second room, mirrors covering walls, my reflection fractured into dozens. Yet one did not move with me. When I lifted my flashlight, every reflection obeyed except one, which kept staring, lips curling into a smile, wider than mine. Glass cracked as I fled. Third door, stairs down, but not to the first floor. They led further below, spiraling into ground. That was impossible. I had seen the house's foundation. Still the steps gaped. Air wafted up, damp, metallic, warm. The voice called again, from beneath. I descended. Stone replaced wood, walls wet. My light barely cut the black. Steps ended at a tunnel. I followed, heartbeat sinking with a low throb that shook stone. Then, the tunnel widened. Into a chamber. What filled it should not exist. Roots thick as torsos rose from earth walls, but they were not wood. They pulsed, veins crawling across surfaces, slick with moisture. Between them hung faces. Human faces, stretched thin, eyes open, lips moving without sound. They swayed like fruit. At the center, a pit yawned. From it exhaled heat and whispers. Every whisper spoke my bent name. My light flickered, then died. Darkness became total. Hands brushed my shoulders, cold, many-fingered. Breath tickled my ear, repeating the wrong name faster, faster, until meaning dissolved into rhythm. My body froze. Muscles refused command. Then, I saw, without eyes, deeper than vision. Something rose from the pit, shape-shifting, always almost human but never right. Faces bloomed and withered across its skin. Mouths opened only to merge. Its arms were too many, bending wrong directions. It reached towards me. The world snapped. I woke on dirt outside. Dawn painted the horizon blood orange. The house stood silent, windows reflecting nothing. No marks on my body, no proof I had been inside, but under fingernails, soil clung damp and red. I returned to the city, tried to forget again. Weeks passed, but each night I dreamed corridors too long, mirrors that smiled, cribs filled with hair. I woke with whispering ear, wrong name repeated, and things changed. Lights flickered in my apartment, the wiring was fine. Mirrors showed my face smiling when I didn't. My phone buzzed at night, always unknown numbers, always silence after I answered. Then came scratching beneath my floor, as though boards flexed with weight of something crawling. Neighbors moved out one by one. The hall grew empty. I found myself alone in the building. That was when the voices grew louder. Not whispers now, choruses chanting the wrong name. They filled pipes, vents, sockets. I taped everything shut, useless. Sleep became impossible. When exhaustion won, I dreamed not of my apartment, but of the pit, the roots, the faces. Each dream, one face looked more like mine. One morning, mirror showed me smiling without my consent. The smile stayed even when I screamed. I smashed glass. Fragments twitched on the floor, reflections moving, crawling towards me. I left, ran through streets, but every window mirrored my bent smile. Every car windshield, even puddles grinned. The world had become that house. And tonight I write this. My door pulses as though something breathes against it. My phone rings non-stop. Each time I answer, I hear footsteps climbing. Not outside, inside walls. I know it waits. It is not the house. The house was only doorway. It is here now, and it wants me to answer with the name that is not mine. If I do, I will belong to it. If I don't, it will keep whispering until I break. Either way, the pit will open. And when it does, the rest of you will hear your names bent wrong too. I thought writing would hold it back, words as salt lines against intrusion. But ink is no barrier. The more I write, the more I feel it shaping letters with me, curling sentences until they look like veins across a page. Nights lengthen. My clock shows dawn, but windows remain dark. I count hours, but time circles, folding like a corridor too long. Last week, I left the apartment, or thought I did. Stairs descended endless, doors multiplying on every landing. Some bore my nameplate. Some bore names of neighbors long gone. One door opened to reveal my own kitchen, light still on, though I was certain I had turned it off before leaving. Another door showed the chamber beneath the house, faces hanging. One face screamed without sound until lips split and peeled back, revealing teeth that grew like roots. I shut it. I no longer trust exits. The calls persist. Numbers shift every ring, digits rearranging like worms. I stopped answering. Then the phone spoke, without me lifting it. Static hissed into words. "We know your name now." I threw the phone. It rang from inside wall plaster. Voices follow me outside too. Streets empty, yet every billboard, every shop sign warps. Letters twist until they form that bent version of my name. Even graffiti changes overnight, shapes writhing until I recognize syllables not mine but destined for me. People avoid me. Strangers glance and then recoil as though shadow clings heavier around me. Some cross streets, others freeze, staring, lips moving. I can't hear, but I know they mouth the wrong name. I searched records for the house. Old maps show nothing on that hill. Town registries list no owner. Even aerial photos blur at its outline, roof dissolving into smear. It shouldn't exist. But I touched its door. I descended its stairs. Proof remains under my nails still.